Bartleston Live, starring BSR Pockets, BSR Hot Rod, BSR Momo, BSR Joba, BSR Scar, BSR SR5, featuring Bubba J, Vince Conway, Trish Yeager, Bandit, Gear, Eddie D, Palmion, Eli, musical guest, BSR Mayhem, and your host, BSR Texan. Ladies and gentlemen, BSR Texan.
Hey, welcome everybody back to the Spotter Stand live. We caught that live there, Pocket.
I'm on a 30-second delay, and I'm listening to the gear. I'm listening to the introduction and talking to Gear at the same time. And right about the time you said that, I was like, I bet they heard that.
Oh yeah,
That would be called Gear a butthole.
Yep. Yeah, we caught that.
I'm calling him a butthole because he's an R Factor racing dirt while we're on the Spotter Stand, so I'm mad at him because I can't do both at the same time. He just got to sit there and listen and watch. I got to actually talk. So anyway, hello everybody.
Yes.
What up? What up?
We got with us Pockets, obviously. Palmion in the booth with us tonight. Gear Jammer. I believe Eddie D will probably be back along here sometime shortly. Also, Rugrat joining us in the booth tonight. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
So Hot Rod is not feeling too well tonight, so he's taking the night off. Going to do a little rest. We know points are close tomorrow night in the Dirt Series, so he needs to get.
I thought it was
better.
Talladega tomorrow.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Yeah, it's Dega week.
It is Dega. The Dirt is not until next week again.
And I'm over there setting up and fixing to haul all my cars. Got a garage in Kansas, shuffling things around, moving things around, headed to Kansas. And I thought, oh, that's right, it's Talladega this week. How did I forget it's Talladega? That's my favorite week of the year.
Yeah, I was about to say you've been looking forward to Talladega for the last few weeks. I don't know how you forgot that.
Well,
Man,
because I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to Kansas too.
Man, I don't got a race till Saturday.
User entered your
No,
you
got to race Wednesday and Thursday, Talladega. Come on, you can race in those.
Oh yeah, you can race at Talladega because you race at Talladega on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And
no, I don't got to hear your whole life story. I just said see me after the. I'm sorry. I'm talking to our friends in the chat box over there. Sorry.
And look who joins us in the booth. It's musical guest BSR Mayhem.
What up, everybody?
What's going on?
What up, Mayhem?
Hello.
So we had some great racing last week at Dover. Was actually some pretty good racing going on. We had some green flag pit stops both nights. Thursday, I believe we had the one Thursday night, Friday night as well. Let's kick it off though with Wednesday night. We did race in the dirt this last Wednesday at Terre Haute, I believe it was. Yeah, Terre Haute in the dirt. And great racing at Terre Haute. That's a great track. We had some pretty long green flag runs. You know, the dirt is tough. It's real easy. Cars are running close and sideways, and you know it's easy to get into one another in the dirt. But we had some good long runs in the dirt this past week at Terre Haute. It was a lot of fun, and once again, it was our own BSR Hot Rod, and that number 65 Chrome Horn Cattle Company machine. That Ford Mustang brought home the victory once again in the dirt. Gained a little bit on the leader, Eli 114. Not much because Eli finished right behind him, and also got a bonus point in the uh, heat race. So I think Larry managed to gain 1 point on Eli with just 2 races left to go in this series. It's going to be tough. He's gonna have to have some good races, and Eli maybe have a little bit of trouble in one of those if he plans to catch up. But he's doing everything he can. He's won these last few races. Great job and congrats again there, Hot Rod, on another victory in the dirt.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Was that Kermit the Frog?
No, I think that was Ernie from Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, good job, Larry. We waiting on who's doing the top 5. I'm not.
Now, let's go ahead. We'll take a look. I'll take care of it since Larry is out this week. Let's look at our race results here from Wednesday night in the dirt. BSR Hot Rod with the victory. Also led the most laps, led 60 laps in that race. Eli, 114, bringing it home in second place. Led 11 laps. So actually, from the looks of it here, it doesn't look like Larry gained any points. With Eli finished in second place and getting the point for the heat race. He tied Larry, so they both brought home 42. So that's not going to change the standings at all as far as first and second place are concerned. I brought home third place. I managed to lead 28 laps. Pockets in fourth, and Gear rounding out the top 5. Rugrat sitting right outside the top 5 there with a 6th place finish at Terre Haute. Great job, Gear, on the top 5, and Rugrat once again with another good finish in the dirt.
Hey, I am proud of myself. Whether that was not a top 5 or not, it was better than last week when we raced. Well, last time we were there, I was in last place, like 45 laps down.
It was a good race, man. You were battling there pretty good till I made that one mistake, and I never could catch back up to you, Texan. So good job.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. There was some great racing there, and yeah, all it takes is one bobble. You push off of that turn just a little bit, and you're gonna lose a spot. Let's check out the points here with just 2 races left to go in the Dirt Series before we end this one for the season. It is Eli, 114, still holding on to that top spot, with Hot Rod still in second place, only 8 points behind. Rugrat holding on to third, down by 63. Pockets closed in a little bit there, now down by 74 in fourth place. And myself holding on to fifth, down by 79. So Pockets just 11 points off of third place with 2 races left to go. Myself, I am back
Ooh,
16 points. So I definitely, I don't think I'm going to be moving up. I might be able to steal fourth place away from Pockets, depending on how well he does. But 11 points, 2 races. I don't know. As well as Rugrat's been running, you only made up a couple of points on her this last week. And if it's about the same, if you only finish a spot or 2 ahead of her, that's not going to be nearly enough to make up 11 points. And if she manages to finish in front of you, she's got third place sewn up. So
well, there's going to be about 14 to somewhere around 16, 14 to 16 available points plus 2 points for points for heat races, which I did get a bonus point this week for winning the heat race. Thank you very much. So
we
14
did have
to 16 available points on the board to win or lose right there. So you're gonna have to stay up on that wheel.
Absolutely. Howdy, Randy. Howdy, Donald. See you guys out there in the chat. Appreciate you joining in. Yeah, it's possible. 11 points, 2 races. It is possible, but Rugrat's been doing a great job. I got a feeling she's going to be holding on to that third place spot for the end of this season.
You know me, Pockets. I ain't giving up that will till the end of the season. So
I know that's right.
So just 2 races left to go in this series. This coming up week, tomorrow night, we will be racing the trucks again. The truck chase is back on. We will be at Talladega. The week after that, we'll be back to the Devil's Bowl. We've all raced the Devil's Bowl quite a bit. Yeah, Palmion will be looking forward to that one. That track is not far from his house. He can see the lights from that track. He can hear the cars when they're out there racing. So I know he'll be looking forward to doing some racing on his home track. Literally, he's a stone's throw away.
Absolutely. You could almost say it's right out my backyard.
You ever go over there?
You know, I really don't. I'm usually
Go over one
working
time.
and, I plan on it eventually.
Well, after Devil's Bowl, we will have one more race back in the truck series, and then the final race in this dirt series will be the Springfield Mile. So we're going to be on a week, off a week with both the truck series and dirt series, swapping back and forth for the next 4 weeks. So we'll be in the trucks this week, dirt the week after that, back in the trucks the week after that, and finishing off the dirt series the week right after that. Just 2 races left to go, 8 points separating the top 2. We'll see who's going to be the champion in this 2019 Dirt Series here at BSR.
Yeah, and I'm very confident at the Devil's Bowl because when we raced there last time, Texan, you only finished 1 ahead of me, and Pockets finished 1 behind me. So it's going to be interesting.
Yes, and that is one of those tracks, that turn 1 and 2. Not so bad entering down into 1, but turn 2, Devil's Bowl, it's very easy to get in the gas a little bit too much or at the wrong time and self-spin. So, it only takes 1 mistake like that close to the end of the race, and you can go from the front to the back very quickly at the Devil's Bowl. So, if you're cautious, careful, race like you normally do, Rugrat, it's going to be real easy for Pockets or myself to make that mistake anywhere within the last 10, 15 laps of that race and not have time to get back up there. So you got a really good chance at finishing ahead of both of us at the Devil's Bowl. So let's move on and take a look at Thursday night. Thursday night's Cup Series. We ran at Dover. Tough track in the Cup. Like I said last week, I have a rough time with this Dover track in the Cup Series. It's a mix. Your setup just gets looser as you go with this track, and it's tough to have the mix. You want to be loose enough in the beginning to be fast, but not so loose that you can't really finish most of a fuel run. And if you tighten it up too much, then you're wearing off your tire by the end of the fuel run, so you can't make a fuel run anyway. I think I was having to pit with somewhere between 6 and 10 laps of fuel left. Some of the other guys even less than that. And I did have a little bit tighter setup this week. Wasn't necessarily as fast as a few of the other drivers, but still wasn't able to make a fuel run just on tire wear alone. Dover is a tough track, eats up your tires. We had a decent race on Thursday night, and it was BSR Mayhem. That number 4 5150 Bomb Squad racing machine brought home the victory. That's yet another victory for Mayhem in the Cup Series, in the chase, doing a great job this season. A great job in the chase as well. Man, great race on Thursday night, and congrats on the win.
Thank you very much. Like I said during the race, my rival Texan on the track has me convinced just by racing him the past few years that I just better try to race for second and give him that championship because nobody can beat him. But Spotter Stan Texan has given me the confidence to say, hey, you got this, man. You can go out there and actually win and get on top. So that's what I've been trying to do, and coming out with some hard sucking setups ready to kick some butt, and the tracks that I'm not so good at, try to spend some extra time in practice and getting them there. That Dover track was cool. I was real loose through coming off like the exit of the corner, and all the things I tried, I just couldn't seem to not really affect the beginning of the entrance of the corner and the middle of the corner. But I will give away a small secret. Changing the compression on the right rear, that's what fixed that, and I was able to maintain keeping it loose in the beginning of the run without spinning out, and then not being too tight by the end of the run, and not and having control, and that really helped me through that race. There was a few mileage going on, and I believe you and Larry would have had that beat if there wasn't that caution at the end. But that was a kick butt race, man. I had a lot of fun with that, trying to stay in front, and had to clutch it a lot just to save some fuel.
Well, you definitely had the best car on Thursday night. I know Momo was keeping up with you there for a little bit, but I think he was having a little bit of a tire issue, same as I was. And neither of us, after 10 laps or so, could really keep
User
up with
entered
you.
your
I
channel.
know you were just steadily pulling away. So, once again, great job, great win. And let's go over here and take a look at the points. Let's see what that. Well, no, we should do the race
He,
results first here.
he had the best car in the skinniest jeans too, so I think that might have helped it.
Damn that.
Hey, those aerodynamic skinny jeans there.
For the record, they're just jealous that I'm a rock star, but I don't wear skinny jeans, I promise.
He says he doesn't. I'm not buying it. I am not buying it.
There's so many pictures of me online. You can find me, and I challenge you to catch me in a pair of skinny jeans. Ever.
Well, we're gonna have to take one of those pictures into the Photoshop, and we'll skinny jean it up for you. So
Good win.
Fucked up. Thank you.
let's go look at the race results from Thursday night's Cup race. It was Mayhem with the victory. Dominant car, led 120 laps. Awesome race. And look at that, BSR Bubba J bringing home second place. Myself finishing in third, Momo fourth, and BSR Hot Rod rounding out the top five. Looks like almost everybody managed to lead a lap in that race. Mayhem with 46 points, scored 4 points over second place. That's definitely going to help you in the standings. Speaking of standings, let's go take a look. I believe you are still leading this series on Thursday night, and that is right. BSR Mayhem has the lead. We have got 6 races left to go in the Cup Series. So we're 4 races in, 6 races left to go. Mayhem with an 8-point lead over myself. BSR Momo in third place, down by 10. Pockets in fourth, down by 12. Hot Rod rounding out the top 5, down by 17. So 4 races in, points are still pretty close up there with the top 5. Anybody's championship at this point. 8 points is a nice little cushion, but with 6 races left and coming up on Talladega, you're still going to have to be looking over your shoulder there to try to hold on to this lead, maybe win this Cup championship.
Next week is the wild card. I'm really concentrating on, like I said, the tracks I'm good at. Martinsville. I'm all right at Homestead, and I know we got something else in there, if you can recall.
Phoenix.
No,
Phoenix
what's the
is
other
coming
one
up.
that's missing?
Kansas.
Okay, Kansas. I got had the same problem that I did at Dover, and I know now how to fix it. I was getting off the corner loose, and like that, from the 5th to 15th lap, I couldn't control the car. Then it would tighten back up, but I figured out what to do with that. So I got 2 tracks plus Talladega, and then 2 other tracks I got to work on. And I just have a feeling that if I actually put some effort into it, I'll be more comfortable with those tracks than I think I am,
Well, like you said, if you can, focus on those tracks you're not so good at, and at least maintain, not have a terrible finish, because one bad finish in one of these races can erase that lead completely. If you can just maintain a decent position and not lose too many points in those, then you got the other tracks in there that you do well at. Definitely going to help you.
Right, just got to pray for a little good luck at the same time.
So I see we have Eli 114 just joined us in the booth. Welcome, Eli.
Up, Eli.
We just finished talking about the Dirt Series. Just 2 races left to go in that series, and you're holding the lead with just 8 points over Hot Rod. How do you feel? You feel pretty confident with just 2 races left to go? You're going to be able to hold on to that lead?
Not with Hot Rod on your ass.
Be tough. 2 races. It'll be close.
Yeah, we know.
Easily.
We know he's given it all he's got. He has brought home the victory in the last couple of races, but we also know you're a hell of a dirt racer yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be holding on to that lead like you are. So it's gonna be close. Coming down the last 2 races, we got heat races with only opportunity to get any bonus points in that, and you've been pulling off some victories in the heat races here lately, which is like last week. He won the race. You finished second. You got the bonus point for a heat race, which basically brought you guys out to a tie. So he didn't gain anything on you this last week. And if you can maintain something like that, get a heat race bonus point, stay within a couple of spots of Hot Rod, you got it wrapped up.
I got to keep within 3 spots, otherwise it's going to have a difficulty,
Yes, and if he gets any bonus points in any of those heat races, that's going to make it tougher too. I know he's looking to get some of those.
Especially in this spring.
3.
Because the Springfield's his favorite track, so. And like you said, Texan with the Devil Bowl being next, anything can happen in there. That would be a little scary. 5 us in the lead, I think.
Well, that's where you go racing down into 1 and 2, and it's either hero or zero.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about that earlier at 1 and 2, very tough at the Devil's Bowl. Like you said, hero or zero. You're either going to get through there good, or you're going to self-spin, and if you self-spin right in front of somebody, you're going to be flipping. So let's move on here. Take a look at Friday night. Friday night's Xfinity Series also ran at Dover. Now in the Xfinity, we run the CTS physics, so a lot easier to handle than the Cup Series. And I actually have a pretty decent setup for the Xfinity race. Nothing like the Cup Series. I didn't struggle really at all. Setup was great on Friday night for me, and had an absolutely great run at Dover. Ended up bringing home the victory in that 201 original flavored Drunken Cow jerky machine. One of the few I've managed to get here in the chase, and that was just a great race for me. I had a great car, and like I said, we had some long runs here at Dover on Friday night. I know we had green flag pit stops on Friday night, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm glad to be able to bring home another win here.
Yeah, good win, man. That was definitely kick butt. Once you got out in front, it was just, you ride off into the sunset. My car was awful in traffic. I had to be out front. I had a little bad luck at some point in the beginning of the race. Never could get back up front. And yeah, your car was just badass, man. Just as the run went on, it just got better and better. And once you're back there and you're tight, you're loose in weird places, there's no catching a good car up there. So great win.
Thank you. It's amazing how it changes things, whether you're in front or you're behind. You get behind another car, and it just makes your car tight. You start to push, it makes it tight. You get up in the front, and the clean air loosens it up just a little bit, and it seems to run, just that much better. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun racing on Friday night. Like I said, it was good to bring home that win. I think maybe I closed the gap on Momo in this series just a little bit. Let's go over here and take a look at our race results from Friday night. Myself, BSR Texan, took the win, led 152 laps out of what? It was 160 lap race?
Damn, yeah, man. I thought I had a good run. That was crazy.
Pockets finished in second place with a great run by Pockets. Second place, led 4 laps. Hot Rod brought home third place, led 2 laps. Momo in fourth, led a lap, and Mayhem rounding out the top 5. Didn't lead any. I'm looking at this right. I lapped everybody. Lap the field. Let me knock on some wood.
Yeah.
I hate saying that. It's like talking, well, somebody else needs to say that. Texan lap the field.
You said it again.
Sounds like I'm bragging.
Good job,
I
Texan.
nope,
Lapping the
I
whole
would-
field.
I wasn't gonna say it. The only thing I was gonna say is, what'd you do, Boris? Had skinny jeans, right? Where's the monkey devil?
User disconnected from your channel.
Texan, were you on a mission that night?
Really, I did not expect to do that well. I figured there would be, some a little bit tighter race in there. And I just once it got in and got going, and I realized the car was running so well, it just seemed I was able to pull away from just about everybody. And like I said, we had the long green flag runs. Which made it that much better. Having those long runs with a good setup, that helped a ton.
We only had one caution, didn't we?
I believe that's right. Just one caution.
And it was early. What I was going to say is that I know why he lapped the field, because he ran a near perfect. I don't think you made any mistakes. I think you nailed all your pit stops. You didn't really have any trouble. There wasn't any cautions to get everybody caught back up. I mean, Larry ran out of fuel. I ran out of fuel. That was one of those races that the strategy played out just perfectly for me, because I had saved tires, saved fuel, where everybody else was running a little bit quicker times and wearing their tires out a little bit quicker. And Larry and I were staying out 10, 15 laps longer, and it led to me anyway being able to, and Larry, to go a little further, and the other people had a little bit of trouble. But you ran a near perfect race. I don't even know that you really bobbled that much or anything during that whole race. You just ran your line and kept it clean, and it just paid out for you. Everybody else kind of had a few little issues, and you didn't, and that's good job.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one of the rare races for me where I didn't really get into the wall. I might have barely scraped it once or twice, but never had to fix any damage in the pits that I can remember. And fuel was a factor. I think everybody basically, you and Larry had run out, and you ended up having to coast in to the pits, and that's what took you a little bit of extra time. But Momo, Mayhem, Eddie D, Gear, all had to pit at least one extra time, I believe, because their first pit stop after the caution flag was a little bit early, which left them just a few laps short on being able to make it on 2 more stops, whereas we had timed it out and pretty much ran it dry on fuel. And I had 1 lap, I believe, 1 lap, 2 laps of fuel to spare at the end of that race. So fuel definitely a factor in putting the other cars a lap down, because most of them had to pit one extra time than I did.
Yeah, and Larry did the same thing I did. I mean, I stayed out, ran myself short of fuel. I didn't run completely out, but I actually had to save and clutch it a little bit to be able to make it back to the pits after leading that lap, because I needed that bonus point, because that race had a green flag look to it, and had I not done that, I wouldn't have led a lap all night, because there wasn't no chance to get a lady lap. There wasn't. I mean, that was a tough race. That was a gamble. But I remember telling the people, that my friends that were watching on the stream, I was like, this 1 point right here at Dover in the chase, just for leading a lap, as close as these series getting down to Homestead, that right there could, even though I ran out of fuel doing it, that might have been the best point I got all year. You know what I mean? You got to look at it that way because historically we have seen these races and these championships come down to very, very close. And every one of those points like that's what counts. And that this is chase. This is a little bit different than leading a lap during the regular season because every one of these points count on the board now because there's 10 races. This is it. That's the chase. So that's a very valuable point. So it throws a little bit of a kink in your strategy when you have to look at those things like that because I knew I wasn't going to be able to make it on fuel, but I knew I needed that bonus point, and that could be a smart move later on down. We'll see if it was worth it, but I still got a second place out of it, so I was pretty happy about getting the second place at Dover. And you said something a while ago, brushing the wall, but not getting any damage at Dover. That's just damn near impossible the way that track runs. I mean, it really is. Like I said, you ran a great race. I mean, just mistake free, and that's what led you to the victory lane.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, that bonus
And
point.
Chad Skinny Jeans, so
That bonus point you're talking about absolutely matters, especially in the chase. When you think about 10 races, that's 10 points. You lead a lap in every one of those races. That's 10 points come the end of the 10 race series. So absolutely matters. It makes a huge difference, especially when points are as close as they are. Let's go take a look at our points right now. We've got just 4 races left to go in this series. And BSR Momo still holding on to the lead with a 7-point lead over myself. Pockets in third, only down by 11. Mayhem in fourth, down by 30, and Hot Rod in fifth, down by 31. And 11 points back, definitely worth it getting that bonus point. If you hadn't got that, then you're 12 back. So 4 races left to go. I'm pretty sure there's 4. Let me go over here and take a look at the schedule.
There's 5. Yeah, this is Friday night. I think you're right. I think it is 4 to go. And you look at the tracks
4.
coming up. I mean, not on Friday night. It's not Talladega, but I mean, you look at the tracks coming up. I mean, we're going to Kansas.
We're
going
Texas,
Kansas,
Phoenix,
and Texas. Yeah,
and then Homestead.
There's some money to be made there. You know what I mean? So that 1 point being like me, for example, being 11 back. That's that's gonna be close. These series always when we roll into Homestead, it's somebody is. I mean, it's always there's 3 or 4 people who have a legitimate shot, and it boils down to the very last race of who's going to walk away with the championship. After all the racing that we've done all year long, we're going to roll into Homestead, and it's not. I don't see anybody clinching until we get there. Do you?
No, not as close as these points are. Same, I think, in the Cup Series right now with as close as those points are. But just 4 races to go here on Friday night. No, I don't think anybody's going to clinch until we get to Homestead. It's been really close racing here this year, and 4 races left. Like I said, the tracks, Kansas, Texas, Phoenix, Homestead. Out of all those, I like all of those tracks, but the only one that I really feel any kind of confidence with is Phoenix. I know I run good at Phoenix. I run good there in the Cup and in the Xfinity. And, I'm pretty sure I'll have a good race unless I have an accident or something like that, which can happen. The other 3, that's kind of up in the air. Everybody runs good at Kansas, Texas, and Homestead. So, yeah, I don't think anybody's going to clinch. Matter of fact, I think these points are just going to tighten up even more as we get closer to the end of this.
And it's very interesting to note that if you go back and look at the whole season, the way we do the bonus points and all of that stuff, and the way we transfer the bonus points into the first race and the chase bonus points and everything like that, that system absolutely works. I mean, it's a thing of beauty because I mean, we're 6 races in. There's the points, even after all the races that we've done, after all the bonus points that have been that you've gotten, that you bonus points that you could have had that you lost or whatever, the races that you won and stuff like that. It stays competitive all season long, and then you get into the chase, and then it just turns the volume up to 11 on the competition, and it just stays tight and close. And so the point system that we have and the racing that we do is just it's outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. That point system with the bonus points, like you said, I think it works out great. You're rewarding guys for doing well, but not overly so. It keeps it close, and that's what it was meant to do. And look at Gear there, for example. Gear recently starting to race, he did receive some bonus points in the end of segment 2 in this series. Didn't make enough races to get the full 12 points in that segment. Didn't get any of the 11 bonus points available in segment 1. So, had he been here the whole season, Gear would probably have another 20 points over what he does right now, which would put him only down by 38 points and 4 races to go, still in contention and possibly able to win here. So, next season's going to be a whole new ball game when we get into the 2020 racing season, and some of these guys like Gear and Eddie D. Big Vito out there. Big Vito, I think he's only able to make it mostly on Friday nights, but still, make enough races to get full bonus points in those segments, and you guys will be right there fighting for a championship next season.
Yeah, Momo and I remember Momo and it took us 3 days because what we did is we tried to come up with a system, and then we come up with what we thought would work, and then we discussed for hours, and we tried to poke holes in that theory. As many, well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? We tried to think of every scenario that could ever be thrown our way that we didn't see that would mess this up. And it like I said, it took us 3 days. We talked for it probably took us 8 hours of discussion. And I think that it works fantastically, and it has for the several seasons that we've been running it, because you all know that in the past, history will reflect that it all comes down to that last race. I think there's only been one series that was clinched going into Miami since we started this points deal, and it wasn't clinched until we got wrapped up at Phoenix, until we was there, and I think that was couple of years ago with another driver. But I mean, it's still anybody's game here with some good tracks coming up for the action.
Yeah, I believe I remember that was not the end of last season, but the season before.
Yes, and the season before that, we had a tie in one of those series.
Yeah, and
A
it had to come down to
an
wins.
absolute tie. Yeah. So I mean, anytime you tie at the last race of a championship series after as many races that we've run, and then you go into the chase with those bonus points, and then they race it all the way down to Homestead, and you take the checker flag at the last race, and you look up at the scoreboard and it's tied, and you have to resort back to wins. I mean, the point system, the competition. You can't physically get any closer competition than that right there. You just can't do it.
Well, this series will be off this coming up Friday, so we'll have an off night this week, and it'll resume the following Friday at Kansas, and it's going to be close. It's already close. It's going to be some great racing this coming up week. Let's move on. We take a look at Saturday night team series. We had our first official points race this past Saturday night. Switched up the way we pick some teams this season. different than it's ever been done before. We split up some of the veteran drivers that have been doing this for a long, long time, made sure they all were on different teams, and randomly drew the rest of those teams like we always do with our three start three race, basically a reset and restart 3 different times.
Yeah.
And on the
Yeah,
third one,
random resets or whatever.
so we're down to 4 teams of 3 drivers for this season number 39. And our first race at Daytona in the Cup cars, we've got the special pink cars this month in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it was BSR Pockets and that number 38 Drunken Cow Jerky original flavor, bringing home the victory in that pink breast cancer awareness car for the hot team, or the original team. I'm sorry, mixing you up with the team you were on last. No, you were on Beer Bacon last season.
And I can tell you this, I can guarantee you, I can't wear skinny jeans. So, Dad,
He must have stepped away.
he probably did. Had to get his jeans out of the dryer.
Well, that was a heck of a race, though, on Saturday night. We had.
What about that race?
Yeah, we had a hell of a race there at the end, and it was a great race. Some green flag stops. We had lap cars that were helping their teammates that were on the lead lap. I think we had cars that ended up running out of fuel. Yeah, actually it did. It came down to fuel. We were we had a 20 lap run at the end of that race, and myself and my teammate Bubba J we were saving fuel that whole run. I heard Pockets clutching. Even on the straightaway, I heard Pockets clutching. He was clutching that whole run, and Pockets managed to say, I think Bubba J had a little bit more fuel than you did, I think. And if we had have really been thinking, and Bubba J would have gone ahead of me a little bit sooner, I think he could have got up there with you and maybe challenged you for that. Or even though he wasn't able to pass you, he finished second. If we weren't going to be able to pass you, if he had stayed behind me and pushed me to second place, then we would have got an extra point for leading the most laps, because I'm pretty sure I led the most laps in that race. But since Bubba J was the first finisher for our team, we didn't get that most laps led bonus point, but we did get a point for leading a lap, because I know he did lead a lap in that race. But yeah, man, right down to the end, everybody running out of fuel. Pockets running out of fuel. Didn't even have enough fuel left to do a burnout at the end of the race. That was a hell of a race on Friday night. Came down to fuel and who was going to stretch that fuel the longest, who was going to sputter the most at the end. And it was that number 38 car brought home the team win for original first race of season 39. Great job.
And I'll tell you, that team series deal, that win right there, that also belongs to Gear and Palmion, because that's a team effort right there. We help each other, we encourage each other, we root for each other, we do everything we can to help each other. We talk strategy, so that's not just my win; that's a team win. So that goes a cut of the winnings will go to my teammates, Palmion and Gear. It was just a team effort. I mean, we really communicated well and worked together, and I look forward to working with these guys the rest of the season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were communicating through the whole race. And when Pockets was like, I don't have any fuel left to do a burnout, I went up to that front stretch and put some original smoke down there for him.
Yeah, that's a team effort right there. When you can't do a burnout, but your teammate's going to come down there and do it for you.
I tell you what was very interesting about that is that I actually got a little bit lucky there, because we were all on the same fuel strategy. We were all, we all had the exact same amount of fuel. So it all depended on kind of the timing of saving and when to save and when to go. And I tell you, I made that move with 3 to go, and I wasn't sure I was going to make it. But I'll tell you why I went ahead and just jammed past Scar and went ahead. He actually ran out because he didn't save as much as we did. And I got that jump on y'all with 3 to go because I don't know how many times find yourself in that position and you're waiting for the right moment. You're waiting. You want to wait. You don't want to go too early. But how many times have we been burnt by all of a sudden somewhere on the other side of the track something happens, a caution comes out, catches us by surprise while we're back there kind of laying back and being patient and waiting until closer to the end of the race. And that's why I'm like, I'm going to get out front right now because this is, you get to that cutoff point to where if the caution comes out, the race is over. And I decided that I was going to try to at least make sure that I was out front if that caution come out, because if the caution comes out, you'll be able to clutch and save enough fuel. I got very close. I pushed it right to the edge, but it was the right move to do. And like I said, I got a little bit lucky there because you can't really tell. You hope you can make it, but that was a big chance to take right there because I could have run out just like Scar. I actually did a good job of laying at the back and saving fuel a little bit better for that whole run back there because if y'all remember, I was at the very back of it and laying back, and I can remember we were all saving there. And like I said, I've been burnt before too many times, and that's why when it was 4 to go, I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going. I don't care if I run out. So, but that was a good deal, a good team effort. Once again, thanks to Gear and Pound Me on my teammates on the original
So
team. Good job.
I ended up the last caution that came out. I got lucky dog, so I got back on the lead lap. Well, you guys all pitted after the second time by when I came back out on the second time by, and I ended up starting in like third spot. So we started the race. The second lap, I ended up leading after I got back on the lead lap, and then the third lap, I ended up wrecking myself out because Palmion was next to me and he started down on bottom and then he went up top. Well, I thought he was going to come back down at bottom, and I got scared and I got nervous, and when I got nervous, I got wicked loose. So I was either taking myself out, going down real low, or I was taking the whole field out.
No, yeah, I could have communicated a little better on that. I was so damaged, I was off the pace. During acceleration, I could keep up with you guys. Once we got up to speed, it was like I was hunting for a hole to get out of the way.
I know you were, and that's why I thought you were going to come back down because it was more open, and that's why I got nervous there. And when I got nervous there, even Hot Rod was like, did I just hit you? And I was like, no, I was either jumping out of there or I was taking the whole field out.
Yeah, that bottom lane can be tough sometimes with these setups that we run with that zero camber in the back. You get down in that low line, and it's wobbly, it's wiggly down there. It's tough to hold on to it, and that, like what Pockets was saying about the last few laps and the caution. That's spoken right there from experience. That's somebody who's been caught in that situation, like you said, too many times. You get within 5 laps to go, and the caution comes out, and now it's too late. It's a race back to the line, and that's what you got. And that was definitely a smart move, getting up there when you could, whether the caution would have come out or not, because that's what got you the win. Like I said, if Bubba J and I had made that move maybe a little bit sooner, that race could have been different. But you brought home the win for Original and took your team out to the lead after the first race. Let's go take a look here at our race results from Saturday night. It was BSR Pockets brought home the victory and 47 points for the Original team. Bubba J, my teammate, finished in second place, brought home 43 points for the Hot team. Scar finished fourth, brought home 41 for the Ghost team, and it looks like it was Hot Rod finished in seventh place, brought home 37 points for the Beer Bacon team. Looks like all of those teams managed to lead a lap, except for Beer Bacon. Hot Rod didn't lead a lap during that race. Didn't get that bonus
Well, that's
point.
hard to believe.
No, he did not lead a lap because his teammate led a lap and should have scored for that team, but you know what happened there.
Yes. Well, Texan, you brought up something very interesting too. I mean, yeah, you figure out a lot of those things after you've been team racing for 10 years at the original and one and only Bomb Squad Racing, where the Saturday Night Team Series was invented and still runs today.
Absolutely. And yeah, we know what happened there, and I kind of feel bad about that. Randy, if you're still out there, man, I am sorry, and uh, I, I I don't know. I'm still torn. I don't know if I would do that again or not. Um, Randy had bumped me in the turn early in the race. At some I don't know where it was, but at some point in the race, he had bumped me in a corner, and it spun me, which ended up bringing out the caution. Randy, I'm sure, just wasn't thinking about it. It just totally slipped his mind as far as calling the caution, taking the caution, and going to the back. And nobody said anything, and I didn't say anything either. I was even thinking about it at the time. I was thinking, I wonder if he's going to claim that or not. But I never said anything. I'm sure it just slipped Randy's mind. He wasn't even thinking about it. He would have actually finished, I believe, in sixth place, and he did lead a lap. At the end of the race, I brought it up that caution wasn't claimed. And it had to be reviewed. Obviously, it was Randy that had made the bump in the corner and caused the caution. So it got put on him, and he got sent to the tail end of the lap that he was on. Um, I do kind of feel bad about that because, like I said, I could have said something when it happened. But at the same time, I mean, this is team racing, and you got to do everything you can for your team, and even if I don't know if I would call that underhanded, but you know, you know, at the end of that,
Especially if it's underhanded in team series.
at the end of that race, I'm thinking, it may only be 1 point or 2 points from where he was to where he got moved to, but 1 point, 2 points. I mean, those points count when it comes down to the end. So, yeah, maybe I do feel like that was a little bit underhanded, and Randy, I do feel bad about that. And I tell you what, I'm going to make a deal with you right now. I won't do that to you again. If that ever happens again or anything similar, I'll bring it up right then and remind you. I won't.
Well,
I won't wait till the end of the race and call it out like that, so that you end up having to lose points over it.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Randy is the epitome of class. He messaged me earlier this week. He messaged me at the beginning of the week, explained the situation and why he left. Of course, he was frustrated. Absolutely, I do not blame him one bit for being frustrated. And he messaged me directly and explained himself. And I told him, man, don't worry about that because we've all been frustrated. We've all thrown our helmet. We've all declined the TV interview. That's understandable because let me tell you something. That right there shows the passion that young man has. He cares. He cares about it. That's why it's so frustrating. That just shows that he is an intense competitor and racer. Here's the other thing that I'll tell you. We have said many, many times when it comes to the team series racing that it is a whole different style of racing because things like you just said, had you not pointed out, don't say anything, don't be surprised if your teammates on the whisper said, don't say nothing because there's a lot of different strategies that you do not are not faced with when you're racing as an individual in these other series. The team series creates its own set of circumstances and things like that happen that you know, Texan, you're one of those ones that you're doing a lot of math during that race. You're counting points. You're trying to see, well, if this guy gets ahead and this guy's behind, or this team's behind this many points. There is a lot of strategy and a lot of different ways to configure that. And what you did is just one of the many, many intricacies of Saturday Night Team Series racing. That's just the way it is. I mean, if somebody fails to recognize something that they should do, I don't know that it's your responsibility to remind them, because they're on a competing team against you. That goes in your favor. Somebody makes a mistake and you can get a point or two out of it. That's how team series are won and lost right there. I mean, everybody has to be up on their game. Everybody has good nights. Everybody has bad nights. You'll forget things like that in the heat of competition. But that's just one of those many things that we've discussed that team series racing produces.
Yeah, and yeah, I see the chat out there, Randy. You absolutely did claim it, and you apologized when it happened. And like I said, you just forgot to get the end of the longest line. And I guess part of the reason that I kind of feel bad about it is when I realized it as we were still under caution. It wasn't right away, but there was still an opportunity when I realized it that I could have said something. And I'll be completely honest, I didn't on purpose, thinking I already had planned what I was going to do at the end of that race, because I knew Randy, I knew he was running well, and I knew he was probably going to have a decent finish, and I knew I had that card to play. And yeah, that's kind of why I feel bad, because it was kind of premeditated. You know, I knew exactly what I was doing, and I do feel a little bit bad about playing it that way. But you're right, it's a strategy. It's one I've never used, and it hasn't really. I don't know if that has ever come up in the past in the team series or not. But yeah, that's what happened, and like I said, I think I feel bad enough about using it that one time that I probably won't ever do that again. Now, unless it's the original team, Pockets or one of his teammates.
Ooh. Well, here's what I was going to say. Now, in your defense, I honestly believe that had the shoe been on the other foot, maybe not necessarily with Randy, that Monkey Devil or somebody else. I mean, somebody else comes in there, or one of these other teams or something. Don't think for a second that you're the only one that thinks like that. You know what I mean? Because you're not. People, and we're forced to think that way because of the way the competition is in there, the way it's scored, how close the competition is. And we've always said from the beginning that the best thing about the Saturday Night Team Series is all of those different scenarios that you're faced with week after week, race after race, even lap after lap. You're discussing with your teammates, well, what about this? What if this happens? Well, what about this? Or, hey, he didn't serve his black flag. Hey, shut up. Don't tell anybody. He'll get put to the end. I'm telling you right now, you ain't the only one that thinks that way and would have probably done that had that scenario presented itself. And in Randy's defense, man, there's a lot of times in the race where there's some confusion going on, and it is very easy to get caught up in everything that's going on and just absolutely forget that, because you're out there at Saturday night, you're running on 90 laps, you're going as fast as you can go in and out of the pits. Everything is go, 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 go as fast as you can. Very easy to get caught up in that and misstep and forget to do something like that. That is not anything to be ashamed of. That means he's up on that wheel trying real hard, just like I said, and sometimes you'll have those little hiccups.
We'll be back in the team series next week, running at Talladega. We still going to be in the Cup cars next week? Or are we doing trucks again this season?
Yes, we are doing
User
trucks this season,
disconnected
but I
from your
can't
channel.
remember
We are
which.
in Cup cars, and then we go to
Yes.
trucks the week after at Daytona, I believe.
Yes,
So-
because we designed it that we wanted to have 3 straight nights or we wanted to have all 3. This is Talladega week. It's all 3 races this week are at the big track, and my favorite place on the planet. I'm excited. I just can't believe I kept thinking we were going to Kansas, but like I said, I'm excited about Kansas too.
Let's go look at the points right quick here. They're pretty much what you see there on the right-hand side for this first race of the series. Original does have the lead by 4 points over the hot team. Ghost in third, down by 6, and Beer Bacon rounding out the field down by 10. 9 races left to go in this series, and a lot of strategy. You can see just how much points can spread out in one race. 10-point difference from first to last in one race. That can absolutely happen in reverse on the very next race. So I expect these points are probably going to close up a little bit, especially if SS Joba ends up showing up this coming up week. I believe SS on the Ghost team once again with Rugrat and Scar. SS shows up this next week. That might just change things a little bit. He'll have 2 teammates there that he can work with, and he might just bring that Ghost team to a victory next week.
I'm telling you, he is a hammer at that Saturday night team series. I mean, he's got a ton of wins on Saturday night at them super speedway tracks. So yeah, it's gonna change things up a little bit. I'm expecting to see him. He's had a little bit of trouble with his back and stuff, but I'm expecting to see some pretty good fields this week. This Talladega, one of the most, if not the most popular track on the circuit for sim racers. So there's going to be some pretty good action this week, I think. I'm pretty damned excited about it.
Well, we're going to kick it off tomorrow night in the Truck Series at Talladega. We're going to get the Talladega week started. It's Talladega all week long, Wednesday night, Thursday night, off on Friday, back at Talladega in the team series on Saturday night. So we've got 3 nights at Talladega coming up this week. It's going to be a great week of racing. I expect there's going to be a lot of green flag racing, a lot of green flag pit stops this week. So, Truck Series tomorrow night. We appreciate all you guys tuning in live with us. That's about all we got for you tonight. And I appreciate all you guys coming in, helping out once again with the spotter stand, pitching in and helping me do this. So appreciate all you guys tuning in out there live, and we will see you on the track at Talladega tomorrow night.
Thank you very much, Texan, for all your hard work all this year doing this and the rest of the season, man. You do a fantastic job. This is something great for everybody to be able to tune in and watch, and we really appreciate it. See y'all at Talladega. Holla!
Dang
Yeah.
baby.